Hello and welcome. This is Christopher at My Perfect Cellar, and today I am bringing you to France. I'm bringing you to Burgundy, precisely the southern part of the Côte de Nuits, Nuits Saint-Georges, 1er Cru, les Roncieres, 2013 by Decelle and Villa. So it's an estate that we talked about before. I presented a few of their wines. So Olivier Decelle's own chateau in Bordeaux, as well as Mazemian in the Roussillon, and Pierre-Jean Villa is no other than a fantastic winemaker in the northern Rhone. So two great minds, two great winemakers kind of come up together in Nuits Saint-Georges. So they have 8 hectares as a négoce, so they buy a lot of fruit around basically and make the wine. And they play around with what they can put their hands on according to vintages and relationship and so on and so forth. Roncieres is a very small 1er Cru located in the center of the Nuits Saint-Georges village. So on the right you've got Les Pouliers, for example. It's 2 hectares, so it's a tiny plot of vine that really brings wines with. Usually the wines of Nuits Saint-Georges, and especially in the center of Nuits Saint-Georges, are quite powerful, quite masculine, can be a little bit austere, especially in their youth. They need a bit of time, obviously. But more importantly, what we need to talk about really deeply is the vintage. 13 is one of those vintage. I mean, you know, wet from start to bottom almost, you know. It was cold, so a lot of disease, coulure and milrondrage, which basically means that you naturally concentrate the yield because the fruit doesn't develop. And then the wet put pressure on rot, so a lot of attention to detail, a lot of scariffing around to make sure that you put the best fruit, the non-affected fruit, into the tank. So difficult vintage that came up with really bright acidity, but toward the harvest, so the harvest was pushed, you know, September, October, to really get the maximum ripeness, because the sun didn't really shine nor came out during the entire season. So the concentration came really at the last minute. So you got a beautiful acidity, and you've got that kind of austerity as the wine came out. It was difficult to approach, but now with 9 years of bottle age, you really get something that is ready to drink, but also has that beautiful layers that only Burgundy can give. So how the wine translates on the side is kind of pale ruby with a kind of red brick rim that showcase obviously the evolution of the Pinot Noir. On the nose, again, that kind of eloquent, that stylish, charming beauty of evolved characteristics of Pinot Noir, with note of cherries. You got the cranberries, you got the lingonberries, you got the wet earth, this kind of savory note coming through. You got old wood, you got the cured meat. It's tertiary, yet very, very classy. On the palate, again, it's very forward. It is feminine to a certain extent, even though Nuits Saint-Georges is usually more the opposite, a bit more rough and a bit more masculine as such. It's elegant with a balance of ripe, dried fruit. You got again the red berries, the wet earth, the forest floor, the savory notes coming through, and through that the entire palate expression, the savory notes, the tertiary really showcase this evolution. But again, on the 1er Cru level, so you really add a lot of class and a lot of layering, and that sort of eloquence, beautiful, really charming, stylish wine that really kind of is the benchmark of what top terroir can do, even though, and great winemaking, even though the conditions could have been and would have been actually quite tricky. You know, it's very kind of perfumed as well on the palate. It's got a beautiful medium weight. Don't expect something too powerful, because it's not. It's really ready to drink. That's really the point. You know, it has a beautiful, vivid, sort of bright acid structure due to the vintage, but still a long finish on spicy and kind of a smoky finish, smoky notes. It's a beauty that needs to be drunk. There's no question about it. You open it about half an hour before you're serving it, 16 Celsius, 17 Celsius, maybe just a bit above normal, nice glass, and basically you start to sip. And as you go through the bottle, the wine will change, will open up as usual. It will give you different layer, it will give you different expression. It needs to be served with food, obviously, but you know, I would go the texture fish, I would go the tuna, I would go the moonfish, I would go the snapper, I would go with vegetable, I go mushroom, I go with pork, even pasta, but nothing too powerful, otherwise you will kind of crush the wine under. So anyway, a beautiful bottle of wine with 9 years old, and please enjoy.